Okay, so today's session is Benjamin Bloom's amazing superpower tool, and I've got a little a little small thumbnail of it there. By now, you may have been introduced to it in one way or another. Hopefully, you have, but certainly through the workshop you have. And we're going to have a conversation about the effectiveness of some specific directions. We're going to talk about prior experiences with being unable to complete a task that has been assigned to you, and talk about the qualities of the taxonomy. And then you're going to get a chance to practice writing some effective objectives, and then think about wrapping this all together. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But fortunately, we've got our full amount of time this time, so I'm pleased about that. Okay, a little bit about Benjamin Bloom. He was an educator, I think he passed away in '99, an educator from Pennsylvania, and then he got his doctorate at the University of Chicago and did some of his work there. And he created in 1956, he worked with 4 other people, including one of whom was David Crathwell, and that's a name that will come up again a little bit later, to create a framework for categorizing educational goals. And they referred to it as the Taxonomy of Educational Objectives. Pretty sophisticated sounding name, but it's amazing that this was created in '56 and has still been applied for K-12 and higher ed all the way through since then. And then in 2000, he had 6 major objectives in the 6 major categories in the one that he created in '56. And then they all lie along a continuum, and we will take a look at that in just a moment, lie along a continuum of what we refer to as lower order up through higher order, so that the students build on their foundation of knowledge. We talked last week about the scaffolding and the foundation, and again, you will see that keep coming up in the field of education. These are some of his quotes. A large part of what we call good teaching is challenging the students' fixed beliefs. I suspect we've all experienced that. Teachers should be able to use education to reorganize a child's thoughts, attitudes, and feelings, and that it is the responsibility of the schools to enable students to provide what they need to reach the highest level of learning possible. And for several purposes, you'll see that I've included attributions in all of the images that I have used. So we'll come to that at the end of this. So, me, a superpower? Whoa! So if you could choose, what would your superpower be? I will just take a minute here and show you mine. Ta-da! I'm a teacher. What's your superpower? So if you could choose, what would you want to choose as your own superpower? Any ideas? Anybody want to share? Okay, so we'll just jump on for the...
Okay. Start?
Okay, who's wanting? Fred was jumping in.
I don't know if I can pick one or if I would want to have them all. You know, that's my problem right now.
Gotcha. I'm with you. I'm with you right there.
I guess if they could take away all attention from everything else, but you know, the teaching, and have like if I could make them fully concentrated on what we're working on, you know, without any kind of distraction whatsoever, and especially now with the cell phones, you know, that's even more challenging. If I could make all the cell phones and other technologies personal devices disappear. That would be my superpower, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. My
But it's
husband,
not pedagogical. I realize that.
that's okay. My husband always said he thought they should have developed something so that when you walk into a room or a restaurant, it would automatically shut them down. What would be yours, Mario?
I can make math anxiety disappear.
Oh, absolutely. There's a superpower for you. Excellent. Excellent. Yep. Yeah. And that's got to be frustrating for a math teacher. Okay. Manuel, what would be yours? What kind of a superpower would you want?
For me personally, would like to understand on technology.
Okay, well, we're going to help you with that.
Yes, exactly. I don't know. I would like to.
That's okay. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it and give you another opportunity.
To transmit love of language and research.
Excellent. Okay,
Not
got
very
it.
banal, but it's
Okay, so you know what? Right now I have the power and I'm empowered in here with the A team as far as getting everything set up for me. Whoa, we are good. But I am empowered with the capability right now of granting you your superpower. You have been selected to receive a special superpower. And that is because of your commitment to your students. You're here because you are committed to your student success. So we're going to go do a little, in order to receive your gift, however, we're going to go on a little field trip to collect your gift. So here's just, all you have to do is follow my directions, okay? We're going to go out, we're going to go we're going to go out that back entrance and then go, around to the left, and then you have to make a right, and then you go back over to, I believe that's your motto up there, and then go east a little ways to get on 95. We're going to go on 95 for a ways till we get up to Fort Pierce. And then once we get to Fort Pierce, and by the way, on this field trip, we left extremely early. So when we get to Fort Pierce, we're going to stop and have breakfast on the way. So we'll take a poll here. Do we want to have breakfast at Waffle House or Cracker Barrel? Cracker Barrel? Okay. So when you get off at Fort Pierce, you want to make a left and go, it's probably a little over a quarter of a mile, and you want to turn right at that hamburger place and then go back there, and then you make another right behind it and go kind of around that shopping center. And isn't it a shame how that shopping center is just, there's nothing there anymore? It used to be so active and there's nothing there anymore. Anyway, you have to go around there to get to the Cracker Barrel. And when you get to the Cracker Barrel, when you go in, you want to ask for Suzanne, for the waitress, because she knows what we want to order. And she knows our regular order. Okay, so then once we've had breakfast, we're going to go back over to that main road. I think it's 60. Yeah, it's probably 60 right there. And go back to the turnpike. And when we get on the turnpike, we're going to go 134 miles and exit on State Road 536. And we're going to travel along that approximately 10 miles. Then you're going to take a right, a right, and then a left. And your destination will be right ahead of you. Are you all with me? Where did we go? Anybody want to take a guess? Surely by now you've figured it out, especially if you know me very well. Okay. Who's got an idea where we went? Where did we go? Anybody want to put a guess in? Yes, of course. Where else would I take us to pick up our special gift? So yeah, that's where we went to get our special gift. Now, some of you may have had a bit of a challenge figuring out where we went. Why?
Because we didn't know the purpose of the trip.
Okay, but I told you the purpose. We were going to pick up our gift.
That's the question. We didn't know
All right.
what type of gift.
Okay, you didn't know the type of gift, but I told you it was going to be your superpower. You know, we were going there to get your superpower. So how come we had a problem figuring out where we were going? Who wasn't really very clear with where we were going, right? So what are some times that you felt that you weren't able to really complete a task effectively? Can you think of another time?
When the directions are not clear.
When the directions are not clear. Thank you. You're saying I didn't give very good directions, huh? But I know my little car knows exactly how to get there, so I'm good with that. Yeah, when we didn't have the specific directions. So here's what I'm offering us today: the gift for education. A common language that we all can use across the curriculum and across the disciplines. The ability to communicate our expectations. Mario said he didn't know what exactly we were going for, and Emmanuel said that I wasn't clear with my directions. So the gift that you're getting is the ability to specifically communicate your expectations using an effective terminology. I suspect most of you have been in education long enough to know that terminology can be a real bugaboo in the field of education, because it may depend upon what curriculum you're in, what type of a field you're in, and the terminology may differ from area to area. So this gift is going to give you a hierarchy that builds from the easy to complex and from the concrete to abstract. So the gift I am providing for you is empowerment, and I'm thrilled to be able to do that. What we are talking about is the Bloom's taxonomy. And this is the revised version from 2001. And I'm going to show you in a few minutes the differences between the two versions. But it's generally presented in a pyramid form, or triangle in this case. You just can't see the back part of the pyramid, right? There's for my math person. But it's usually based on the, I don't like to think of them as lower level, because they are not lower level. They are lower order thinking skills, but you have to be able to get through the first ones in order to accomplish the next ones. So, so remembering, basically recalling facts and concepts, then moving up to understanding, being able to explain ideas or concepts, to applying, using that information in a different situation, and then to be able to draw conclusions, to analyze those things, and then justify a stand when you evaluate, and then use that information to create something new. So I'm going to share with you just a couple of objectives. We're going to go back to pre-K, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Think about the story. So an objective under the remember the beginning one might be to describe where Goldilocks visited. And that would be remembering, recalling the things, information about the story to be able to describe where she went and why she went there. Then to move up to the next one would be to be able to summarize what that story was about. Take a few sentences and give us a synopsis of that story. So then if we were going to move up to the apply one, would be construct a theory about why she went into the house in the first place. Anybody remember that one? Oh, we've got to do some Gotta do some review work on our stories. Anybody remember? Why did she go in the first place? All right. I think it had to do with either being tired or hungry or both. Okay, so if we move on up then to analyze, would be to think about, differentiate would be the action verb between how Goldilocks reacted and how you might react given the same type of an event, of a story event. So analyzing how she reacted as compared to how you might react, to differentiate them. So then if we're going to go on up to evaluate, assess whether or not you think this really happened to Goldilocks. Is this something that could really happen? Of course, with we would be doing that with younger kids, but then all the way up to create, compose a song or a skit or a poem or a rap to convey the whole Goldilocks story in a different form. So you can see how each one of those levels builds on each other. So that gives you a kind of a basis on a very, very simple format of how the taxonomy works and how they build on each other. And I think I'm going to, okay. So I'm going to give you some basic information about the revision of the taxonomy based on the 2001. So one of the, Krathwohl is one of them that was in the original one, and then he also was a part of the group that formulated the revision of it. And I'm going to show you the differences in that revision, but one of the really cool things about it is that it combines knowledge dimension with the cognitive process dimension and gives us a grid of how to look at one of the, at an objective and make sure that it encompasses both. So let me give you an example here. So if the objective is the student will learn to apply the reduce, reuse, recycle approach to conservation, apply is the cognitive process dimension, the active action verb. So that would come under the middle column, apply. And then the knowledge dimension has to do with the factual concept, the procedures, procedural knowledge. We don't often get many in the metacognitive in most of what we do, but this way you can see the intersection of where those two work. I'm going to show you a really cool graphic here in just a moment that will give you an overview of that and then show you where to go to get that for yourself. And that is indeed where we are headed with those. So I'm going to step out of here and go here to that's not Bloom's. Okay, this is one of them. This is the one that, nope, that's not. I had it up here and I don't now. Okay, I will come back to that. But this is something that I found that that brings it right into today. It's looking at the digital taxonomy and the communication spectrum. So how our students, remember we're talking 21st century skills and communication, collaboration. So it puts the types of communication things within each one of the within each one of the levels in the blooms. And this is the list that we have available for you, both in the Google slide for you to try out, as well as on the website. So you will see that and be able to link to that. This is our basic Don't Leave Home Without It document. So let me go back in here. Okay, and this is what I thought I had the website up, and I will go back to it for you. But this is from the PDF of their website, and the website itself, and I will pull it back up while you're working, is interactive to where when you click on each one of those, what you're seeing here is what comes up. So this shows you the intersection of the cognitive process dimension going from remember up to create with the knowledge dimension, factual, conceptual, procedural, and metacognitive, so that you can see that the verb refers to the cognitive process, the action verb, and then the object describes the type of knowledge that they are expected to acquire or construct. And that's that link 2001 at Anderson and Krathwohl is the revision of that. And I will pull that up. This tells you the link for it, and I've got the link in the resources as well. And then this is just our visual that shows you the differences from his in 56 to the one in 2001. And essentially the primary change was from the noun to the verb form, where we start thinking about the action verbs, and also switching evaluation and creation to where creation seems to be seen as a higher order skill than simply evaluating. So let's try it out. What I'm going to invite you to do is go to the Google Slides and pick one with the superhero of your choice. What we have on those are some objectives, some pre-written objectives on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, what we want you to do is go to the take a look at the list, the action verb list, and then rewrite that objective in order to be a more effective objective. So this is where you're get to try your hand at writing objectives. So if you will go to the Google slide and take a look at one of them. So pick one, put your name in it, on it, and then look at what the first one clearly is your introduction one. So go in and pick one, and then look at the unclear objective on the left-hand side and rewrite it on the right-hand side. And we have the link there to the list of verbs if that will help you. Looks like we have 2 people on the one, 3. Okay, so I guess we'll go back up here and see what we have. Emmanuel, it looks like there you are the first one.
So the first is the remembering, then there is the application.
Okay.
And the creation. Oh yes, I use different verbs now.
Yes. Yeah.
Apply them, constructing and translating.
Yeah. And so essentially, that would be 3 different objectives, right? They'll remember and identify the rules, they'll apply them in the sentences, and then they'll...
The end of it, the creation is the last one.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know if it is what you meant.
It is indeed. And that's actually was the second part of what I was going to have everyone do, is go into one of the blank slides at the bottom and create one that has to do with your own course, and you've already done that. So that's cool. Thank you. And so anybody else, the broken objective we have over there is know the 3 stages of matter. What's wrong with that objective?
No is where It's not an action verb.
It's not an action verb. We have no way of knowing what someone else knows, do we? Okay, thank you. And who do we have here? Wonder Woman. That was the one Serena was doing, I believe. So we'll go on down. Mario. Isn't this yours, Mario?
Yes.
Okay.
You want me to talk?
Sure.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, some reason understand is not an action verb. There are different levels of understanding.
Absolutely.
And if one can apply a concept, one understands it, but it's not true the other way around.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Again, understand is one of what we lovingly call fuzzy verbs because we don't have any way of knowing what someone else understands. We know what they can share with us, they can write, they can create, they can apply, and that's truly how we get back to understanding, but we don't know, I don't have any way of knowing how they understand. Julissa.
Yeah, I put the broken objective, what we normally have in textbooks, recognize the difference between preterite and imperfect when I'm writing a story. And I try to put a little bit more of hands-on or visually appealing, more tangible objectives on the other column.
Great, excellent, thank you. And Julissa, is this your first PD session?
No, I actually did it over the summer, but I want a refresher course.
Bless your heart. Thank you. Thank you for joining in. Thank you.
No, I wanted to say hello to her.
Oh, Emmanuel says hello, Julissa.
Hi, Professor Petener. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you. Thanks so much. Serena, and Serena stepped away. We can see that at the moment, but she had recognized the difference between preterite and imperfect when narrating a story. So she's got recall the rules reviewed in class, examine the situation when each verb tense is used, detect the use required. Whew, some pretty impressive objectives there. Produce a basic story using, tell me what that word is. Someone correct my pronunciation.
This is Teresa.
No, that's Serena's. Preterite? Fred, am I pronouncing it right? Okay, all right, we'll come back to it. Thank you. Yeah, I need to. Preterite? Okay, thanks. So Fred, here's yours.
I made my own. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I had to go into a slide. So I did both. If you go to the, I believe 7.
Oh, okay.
That's when I realized that this is what I had to do. But then I made my own. So that would be the student will sing the C scale. And I will demonstrate how the sound can be maximized through the practice.
All right, excellent. So then yours is also the next one or no?
It's 9. It's 9, but I still haven't.
Oh, I love it. Look at this.
I'm just finishing it right now.
Okay, great. Look at that. 5 levels in there too.
The superhero being Don Quixote. I thought we had to make up our own.
That's fine. And I did have that as the next assessment piece. Yeah. All right. So share with us, Fred.
Okay. So this is obviously something that I've worked on already. I'm going to say I just came up with this.
Good for you.
And so what I wanted to do is one of my module, the 5, that would be the one where I could have the 5 levels. of objectives, which is not going to happen in all modules.
No, absolutely not.
I wanted to take because I think that's the one where I can practice, you know, on a smaller scale. Each of them, of course, there are no major assignment associated with any of them, but that's where we'd be able to move from knowledge to comprehension, then to application, to analysis, and potentially synthesis if time permits. If not, in the next, you know, in the next module.
Well, that, my dear friend, is exactly why we have, why Module 3 is a 2-week module. Because start out thinking in terms of objectives and then move directly from using those objectives and applying them in that blueprint document. So our session next week is going to be helping you work through the blueprint document if you haven't already done so with one of the facilitators. So you are right on track with us.
It's just a little hard to measure, you know, what can be attributed to each module at this point, but I'm sure it'll fall into place at some point.
Yeah, we'll take you by the hand and get you there.
Thank you.
Subjectivity in a variety of news venues, but you know what to do on that. Degrees of stylistic figures related to subjective information. Okay. Change the formulation of subjective statements into more balanced and objective sentences of your own. What's the level of this course, Fred?
It's for a fourth year. It's Spanish 4930.
Okay, all right.
So they're
Yeah.
finishing students.
Yeah, and so they have already had Spanish 1 and 2, and what else?
Oh, they're majors or minors at least. So
Okay.
they have to have at least the in the advanced grammar level courses, and some, you know, most of them will have at least a few literature courses down.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, this looks that looks super. Thank you. Anybody else want to add anything in? It looks like we lost Serena. Okay, so let me jump back into the PowerPoint and get us where we need to be. Oops, no, that's a little further along. So here is my challenge to you. Now that we have played with your newly granted superpower a bit, can you give me a word to express how it feels to be able to use that superpower and make it happen in your objectives?
Indeed empowered.
Absolutely. Thank you. That was my one of my comments back there, is that it is empowering, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
To think about how to write them in such a way that you can produce the results that your students will produce the results that you want them to have. Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Teresa.
I like mechanic.
Mechanic, okay.
Yeah, because one thing I liked about everything I've read so far in the module is the idea of alignment, that you have to really, you know, like this for me, this is taken from, you know, the car mechanic.
Yes, absolutely.
You gotta make sure that all the different parts are working together. Okay.
Yep. When my little blue angel's out of alignment, she's not a very happy little car. So yeah, the alignment, and I'm glad you picked that out of there, because that's the direction we're going as we start taking you into the blueprint and start thinking about the alignment piece there. So you have now become the mechanic of your course. I love it. Organized. Okay. All right. Thank you, Manuel. Mario, what's your word?
I'm thinking of a word that's not in the list, and
That's okay.
I'm kind of submitting a question as well to the group, and my word would be encompassing, remember and understand, and it's recreate.
Okay.
In terms of a process, because in math, a lot of times we need students to remember certain facts, and such as in cooking, I want you to recreate the process of creating, and this is not clear in my head yet, the process of creating a lasagna.
Sure. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. So we're gonna follow Emmanuel to Italy to make that lasagna, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. And I think when you look at that list, you will find that recreate is indeed on there. I believe that it is, and it's an excellent, and that probably is right there where it is in that second level or perhaps the third level, because as you use it in terms of cooking, Fred's thinking about what's under the hood of my little blue angel, but you used it in cooking, and as someone who used to cook more than I do now, but I generally, the first time I make a recipe, I follow it exactly so that I can see if it's going to recreate the way it's supposed to. And then after that, I start tweaking. So yeah, that's an excellent word for using that superpower. So we thought about measurable objectives. We thought about how those objectives are going to produce our learner outcomes, and that's going to come more as you move into the second part of Module 3. We thought about going from the lower, I shouldn't have said lower level skills because they really are not leveled, but they're the lower form of the skills to develop higher order thinking, order rather than levels of thinking. And we are thinking, and Fred gave us the idea of consistency across the objectives so that our alignment is there with the objectives, the content, the assessment, and the instructional materials. You all have come a long way with this. Thank you for that. And I have a couple of things to share with you. One is, if you are at all available this coming Friday, we strongly encourage you. This is one of those fuzzy areas for faculty and staff, is that whole business of copyright. And our FAU librarians have brought in a international copyright consultant to talk to us on Friday about making copyright work for us, ownership and fair use at the university. And then the second session is online learning and e-reserves update, authors' rights, really a key element that faculty is concerned about, and publication agreements. So I've got the link on here, and this is one that I didn't give you all to put out there, but if you want to post that link in the chat room, to that link would be directly to this link is to register for it. So that bit.ly link is to register for the workshop. The workshop will be available virtual as well as in person in here. So this is Jane Strudwick at the library. We're working in conjunction with them, providing them a space and the ability to record this. But I think it's going to be an extremely powerful opportunity for all of us. So I wanted to throw that little piece in. Our research librarians are just amazing at what all they can accomplish for us and with us. So this is one of the things that's really going to be beneficial for us. So that said, I will take us into the next one. The copyright workshop this Friday. Then next Monday's PD session is a follow-up on this one, where we invite you to bring whatever you have at that point on your blueprint, bring it to us, and we will sit and work with you virtually as well as in here to help you grasp some of the ideas on what we lovingly refer to as the blueprint. So we're going to host a little blueprint party here. The following week is spring break, and then the week after that, we'll be talking about using groups, which, by the way, coincides with Module 4 when Module 4 opens up for you. So we are looking forward to having you join us for those. Thanks so much, Fred, Jerissa, Serena, Mario, Emmanuel. Thank you. We appreciate your being here with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too. This is, and I will post the, yeah, this will be posted for you. But this is the link, the links to some of the things that I used for this. And I have discovered as I was working on this, the Creative Commons website, thinking again about the copyright issues and some of the things. So that Creative Commons website is a very, very helpful one to get us started thinking about how to annotate and how to cite within our presentation. So thank all of you for being here, and thank you for this absolutely incredible technology team. I love it. Thank you.